Hi, this is Bill, and today I'm going to talk about my five favorite retirement YouTube content creators. Yeah, first one is Buzz. He's probably one of my most favorite. He's such a down to earth guy. I enjoy. He talks about what is going on in his life all the time. Anyway, his channel theme is retiring on Social Security only. And his situation was that he worked for a company called Modern Tool and Die, and they were an OEM supplier to main. I guess Toyota was their big customer, and I think in 2023 they lost Toyota, and this was like a big fraction of their business, and so the company was going to have to downsize quite a bit. And so I guess he decided to pull the trigger and retire. And his plan was that, well, if he couldn't cash flow Social Security, because he started drawing on that at that time, he would go ahead and get a job. So anyway, so since then, he's been putting out these monthly budgets in quite good detail and showing how he's able to make things work on Social Security. And yeah, I know he's got the criticism and too that people say he can't uh, retire on Social Security. But to put this in a bit of perspective, is that the argument goes something like this: well, the average Social Security check's only $2,000 a month, and so you can't live on $24,000 a year. And basically that's true. But the thing that these people don't realize is that most people, family situations, that they're two people living together, a married couple, and typically a married couple, and they'll be getting two Social Security checks, so you're getting close to more like $4,000 a month. And when you're sharing one housing expense, that really can go a long way and work. And say Buzz and his wife, between them, they're getting close to 4,000 a month, and he's making it work. So I'm an evidence-based person, and yeah, I guess you can't argue with that. Now his strategy is basically this: he's using the Social Security to pay his what I call predictable monthly expenses. This includes the housing costs and utilities, food, insurances, taxes, things that are fairly predictable. And he's worked out that in his lifetime, as far as capital, unexpected expenses, you like needing a car or water heaters and things like that. He's figured out that he estimates, like, I'm going to need maybe two dishwashers and two cars, and, maybe another washing machine. He's figured all that costs out, and and uh, and so, and of course, that all that money is going to come out of his retirement savings. He hasn't disclosed what his retirement savings is, and that's fine. But I am under the impression it's not a big pot of money, but it's enough to cover those expenses. So he's thought this through, and yeah, I really like listening to his videos. Yeah, he's just a very real person. He's fun to he's fun to listen to and interact. And despite he's got quite a few followers, but he will respond to, like, I think every comment too. He's really good about that, with some insightful replies. So yes, and Buzz has even shouted me out on his channel, which is pretty cool, because I'm definitely not anywhere big enough to be in this YouTube community as these guys are. The other person is Dawn. She's Life After 60 Resting Witch Face. And she lives in California, so she knows all about the high housing costs. And she's a really cool woman, and she's kind of gone through a situation similar to what I went through recently with the financial meltdown, and having to recover from it. In her case, I believe she had to stop working to take care of her sister who was in poor health, and then when that was over, this may have impacted her. She's mentioned this, impacted her ability to have saved up more money for retirement. So their retirement savings is less than what they feel they need. And she's also at a place where the Social Security isn't going to cover her expenses either. Because she has real estate debt like me, and she also has a car payment. And I don't know if she has any other debt, but so anyway, so she's kind of gone back into the workforce, and she talks a lot about the difficulty of getting jobs now. She said it used to be easy for her, but suddenly, like after 2023 is like, or 24, it's gotten really hard for her now. And so she's doing these side hustles. She talks about this. She does the Uber Eats, and she's got YouTube income coming in now. And she also does, what's the other thing? Yeah, she also has online courses where she does art classes. So this woman's got a lot of side hustles. And one thing that's kind of cool about her actually is that she had a lot of health issues, somewhat similar to my late wife, and she's fixed them all with a carnivore diet. And I'm not here to plug a diet, but yeah, it's amazing. She says she feels healthier than ever, and of course now that she's got the good health, she wants to take advantage of that work, and she wants to delay Social Security because I guess they've gone through their budget and they realize that they live in Southern California like I do, so they've realized that the Social Security is not going to cover their living expense. So they, or at least not if they take it now. Maybe if they, I guess maybe they wait to some age, it will. So she talks about that. I'm on board with her with that, with the waiting for Social Security like me. The third channel is Dwayne, 500K retire early, and he's like the YouTube star amongst all of us for sure. And his situation was that he got a Berkeley MBA and landed, I think his first long-term job he landed was in the music industry, and he totally loved it. And I guess life was good until it got laid off, and then I guess he has some shitty jobs after that. When he was 59 years old, I guess he decided, I've had enough, take this job and shove it, I ain't working here no more. And so he went into the brave world of retirement. I think he had about 550K-ish of cash and investments. And anyway, he lived and worked in LA his whole life, so now he had to deal with the high housing costs of LA. So he's worked out his solution to this was he's bought a house for about, I think, 250K in the high desert, like an hour and a half away from LA. And he actually has a mortgage, but it's not too high. I think he mentioned it was like $860 a month. And then he realized he was going to have to do side hustles. So anyway, he went ahead and I guess he also talked a bit about ageism in the marketplace, but then he found out he was really good at YouTube. And so he's got a very thriving YouTube channel, which I admire that. It's amazing. I think he has like over 50,000 subscribers. But anyway, he says his monthly expense now is about 3K a month. And he's getting about half to 2/3 of that from his YouTube income, which has really actually probably saved his retirement at this point. He's not collecting Social Security, so at least not at this point. And I think he's 62. Anyway, so in one video recently, he mentioned that if he didn't have the YouTube income, I think he said he had about 520K in retirement money. They estimate that went down to about 461. So the YouTube has actually saved him 60K on his retirement money. So that's awesome for him. As I say, being a single guy dealing with having to pay for the one person paying the housing expense, I could relate with that. So anyway, he's cool. The fourth guy is Peter, and his channel is Retire Early with Me. And he's funny. He's also a pretty minimalist guy, and I think he worked for Verizon, I think like in customer service, and retired at 55. And he did mention, he's pretty transparent too, he mentioned how much he had in the retirement savings, which I think was around the 500K-ish. Anyway, this guy is the master of frugal living without um, looking like he's living frugally, which is pretty impressive. I mean, so his monthly burn rate is like 1,200 a month. That includes everything, which is impressive. He has no debt, which again is always the key thing. And one thing he's done is he had a 2,200 square foot house. He sold that when moved into a 560 square foot condo. So he got some cash proceeds from the house, so he's put that into his savings or investments. And his line of thinking with this, which makes a lot of sense, this condo is brand new. So at this point, I guess he figures that all the mechanical type issues you're going to have with the house, the roofs and the painting and the appliances, all that stuff is brand new now, so they shouldn't, it probably shouldn't need replacing for 10 years or more. So he's minimizing his expenses that way. And then of course insurance and property taxes and to some degree the utilities will all go down too. So he's pretty good at that. But there's one aspect of his life I absolutely could not do. In a recent video, he talked about you need to count calories like you count money, and he lives on 1,200 calories a day. There's no way I could do that. I think I'm probably like 4,000 calories a day, and I'm losing weight. I mean, and the thing that blew my mind was that in an early video he was talking about his eating habits, and he sounds like he eats at fast food restaurants quite often. And I asked him, how can you afford that? Because you got Michael Bordero telling you that Big Macs cost $18 now, and he says, oh yeah, he says I downloaded the McDonald's app and I can get a couple cheeseburgers for $3. So yeah. So anyway, he's funny. But he seems to be living a good life, but it doesn't seem like he's resorted to like recycling shoelaces like Prepper Princess. So yeah. And then the fifth channel, this is a very different vibe. This is Otter's retirement corner. This is Howard from Otter's retirement corner. His channel is much more educational in nature. He talks about how the Social Security Administration works, and talks about basically what the future is, the things, what the implications are for funding and things like that. I like him quite a bit. He's also an amazing athlete, which of course always gets my envy, because I've probably got total dyspraxia as a result of my autism. I want to be a good athlete, but I'm really not. So, but I work at it. But from Otter's or Howard's videos, I've learned a lot about how this works, and I've even posted some videos on my own, thinking about some of the things he said and what this implies, and things you could do to fix it. And he's talked about this too. So, and of course, we're dealing with government programs, and especially government programs that may be needing a little bit of help in the future. Politics, of course, is going to come into this, and so his channel tends to deal with politics certainly more than the others do. But he's not in your face about it. I mean, I appreciate his perspective. So. Now, unlike the other people, I think he's probably retired with a considerable amount of money. I think I have maybe 1.8 million in retirement. I haven't checked it lately, and I'm still stacking because I'm working. I think he has quite a bit more, but I'm not sure. But yeah. Anyway, he retired at 65, and his wife is retired too, and they have no children either. So at least they won't have to be buying a house for a kid or something like that. But anyway, his channel is he's educational. I think he's good, and I say I like all these 5 channels. I like to pretty much watch everything they put out. And now my situation, I'll just be brief with mine. I am, as I say, I think I have a pretty good retirement nest egg. I also got my apartment building paid off, which is now a big relief. So that's one debt out. But I have a ton of debt. I got 600K on my house, which is a ton of debt. So I personally view my retirement savings as not really at 1.8, but probably more at 1.2, because I subtract the debt off that, because that debt's got to be paid for some way. And yeah, and one of the things I probably do this. I've got a breakdown of what my budget was for last year, and one thing, I can't do these monthly budget things like Buzz and Peter could do, because the money is at any given month is fluctuating so wildly. I mean, I could go into the month with 30K in the account and come out at the end with 4. You know, and then it can go up 20K. I mean, it's just wild, and that's one thing I really would like to stabilize. Is these wild fluctuations in my budget. I mean, it's worse than following a Bitcoin chart. I mean, so anyway, I have really nothing. Well, I will say this: at least the apartment building gives me some security, because if all hell breaks loose, I guess I could sell my house or walk away from this place and go into my apartment building, and then I'll have no housing expense. Actually, I'll have housing income, so that would be good. But as I say, one thing I've noticed, an important key, I think, to retiring successfully is really minimizing or eliminating debt. And yeah, I guess that kind of, I think, is really important. So I'm working on it. So anyway, I hope you like, and if you like this video, please like and subscribe. It helps me with my low self-esteem. Until next time, bye-bye.